A couple of weeks ago, just right here in Detroit Lakes, the Detroit Lakes Police Department, the school district, as well as other emergency personnel were setting up for a mock crash drill on the eve of prom, when that mock drill unfortunately turned into a real drill. 6 people ended up being hurt, none of them seriously. A couple of them happened to have been high school students. Another one was a state trooper. Another one was an EMS worker. And the other 2 were a 9-year-old child and the mother of that child who were assisting with that mock crash drill. Now, a lot of people have asked what happened. Well, if you missed it, the gist of it was basically there was a fire truck at that scene, and somehow that fire truck began moving forward and crashed into the 2 parked cars that were part of this mock drill, thus causing the injuries. And since then, I've heard a lot of people ask, why did this happen? How did this happen? And as I've moved around town over the last couple of weeks, I've even heard some people making jokes a little bit, even light of the situation. Frankly, blaming the firefighters for the situation. Well, I just want to say this. At this point in time, what we do know is the fire truck was in fact left in neutral and was in fact put in park before the accident happened. Now, both of those seem to be standard and wise safety measures to make. There is no conclusive evidence or conclusive reason at this point in the investigation as to why that fire truck began to lurch forward, although it is still being investigated by the proper authorities. And when that determination is made, if that determination is made as to why that fire truck came out of gear, it will be made public to the people if it is appropriate, I assume. But I've heard a lot of people talk about whether or not the truck was even in park in the first place. This, that, or the other. And maybe even some people saying that they might give a firefighter or 2 a razzing that they know of about this situation. The reality is we shouldn't. We have one of the most fantastic volunteer fire departments here in the city of Detroit Lakes, and this is unfortunately a very bad incident that really, let's face it, politically looks worse than it actually is physically. There was some damage done to the automobiles, a little bit maybe to the fire truck. Insurance won't most likely recover all this. The injuries, thank goodness, were not life-altering, were not life-changing, and therefore the people involved in the injuries themselves and in the accident will be able to make a full recovery. It's just unfortunate it happened in front of the whole student body, and well, immediately after it happened, the rumors began to fly around town. In fact, people there at the accident scene that were barricading the area off had friends, family, other citizens coming up to the barricades asking about what happened, frankly saying that they already gotten text messages from either other students or via the school district's instant alert message and were curious as to what was going on. In fact, we had some early indications here in the newsroom at KRCQ and KDLM that the injuries were much far graver than they actually turned out to be once the dust was settled. My point is, I don't think you should razz the fire department about this. They've done everything they could to the book that I know of for them to have been safe with that situation. The point of that drill before prom was to teach people, particularly students especially, about the dangers of drinking and driving and being responsible. While the drill was stopped because of the accident and didn't go all the way through as planned, I still think a very valuable lesson was learned. Maybe the students didn't get the drinking and driving lessons they should have, although they should have known that before that mock crash was ever set up. That frankly should be common sense to anybody here in the Lakes area or any American that knows the dangers of drinking and driving. What I think those students should take away from that incident is that no matter how safe you are, no matter how cautious you are, things can go wrong. Never take anything for granted. No one is exempt. And enjoy the present. It's a gift. That's why they call it the present anyway. I think we'll find out exactly what happened in due time. Sometimes these investigations take a long time. Early indications are some kind of mechanical function occurred with the fire truck that caused this incident. Nothing no individual firefighter did, and no other rescue personnel or school district official did. I just hope an incident like this doesn't discourage cities, school districts, and communities from holding these mock drills, because I believe in the end, it's definitely worth saving the lives that it's possible to save by demonstrating the dangers of making unwise choices. And even in this situation, where all precautions were made, I still think it's very valuable to show people that anything can happen at any given time. And I personally would like to thank the fire department, the police department, for their actions here in the Lakes area and their quick response, even when that mock crash turned real.